I'm Kyle, and I am here today with someone who needs no introduction, but she's going to get one anyway. It is Xero's Chief Product and Technology Officer, Diya Jolly. She is here to share a very special update with us. Diya, thank you so much for being here to chat today.
Thank you for having me.
I understand that you want to talk today a little bit about what Xero's secret sauce is, and my very first question is, what is Xero's secret sauce?
That's a great question. Well, Xero's secret sauce is our customers, right? Everything we do, everything we build is for our customers. And it is these customers that actually provide us with the knowledge and the intelligence of what we can build for them. It is their voices, their feedback, their engagement with us that actually tells us what's going to be valuable for them and other folks like them.
So on the flip side, we have the customers who are the ones who are using the software day in and day out, and they're so intimately familiar with it. What does that specific point of view of the customer, how does that shape the software with us? How do we take that information?
Our software is used by our customers, whether they're small businesses that run their financial operations in them, or accountants and bookkeepers that run their practice on them and do their work for their small businesses. And they use it day in and day out. And you often see them use our product in very innovative ways. Mm-hmm. We've also been lucky enough to have customers that give us a tremendous amount of feedback because they are so passionate about the product. And a very good example of how we take their feedback to help innovate on our product is our new homepage on Xero Blue. When you look at Xero.com and you see over the last year, we've released a new homepage. Really, that homepage was an example of taking feedback from many of our customers, and they gave us tons of different pieces of feedback on what they wanted to see in the homepage. And as you can imagine, we have over 4 million subscribers, and aggregating the feedback from them, we sort of realized if we aggregate all their feedback, what happens is that they actually want a new homepage that's more of a control center that helps them understand what's going on with their business. And the way we built this was we took the feedback, we actually did designs, and we co-designed with them. So we co-designed with about 3,000 customers.
Oh, that's great.
And then tested it with many, many more. And that's how we used the voice of our customer in helping us inform what we should build and how we should innovate.
So 4 million subscribers, and they also have a few different outlets to submit feedback. Is that correct? Like there's,
yes.
Yeah.
Few is an understatement. There are lots of different ways they submit feedback. They can submit feedback through our Xero product ideas. They can submit feedback through our customer support channel. They can submit feedback through, often we have one-on-one conversations or one-on-many conversations with them. We have our advisory councils. We often get feedback in social media. So there are lots of different sources that they can submit feedback to us in, and in many different ways that we input.
That's a ton.
That is a ton. That is a lot of feedback.
With all of that feedback, how do we keep all of that straight? Like, how do we make sense out of all of the data, like the information that we're getting?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I think one of the biggest pieces of efforts we've undertaken over the last few years is making sure that we actually do pay attention to all this feedback. As you scale, it becomes very easy to ignore certain channels or certain types of feedback, etc. And when you look at our company and our product, we serve customers in very distinct geographies and very distinct countries. So it's not just that the feedback is coming across multiple channels, it's that we don't, we have a heterogeneous set of customers if you move from the US to the UK to obviously Australia, New Zealand, our heartland. So what we've done is we've actually taken this data and from across the different channels. And now with AI, we can actually aggregate this data and make sense of it. So for example, if somebody tells you, hey, I want to be able to change a report, and they word it in a particular way, but somebody else calls it something in another channel, AI can actually help us aggregate that.
Wow.
We've actually developed a dashboard where we take feedback from the different sources, we aggregate them into general trends and themes, and then we can say, hey, if we look at our bank feeds, here's all the feedback coming back. If we look at invoicing, here's all the feedback coming back. And you can actually, and here's the clusters of the kinds of themes that are coming. You can slice them by country. And then you can also go deeper and go, okay, which themes got the most feedback? How many customers talked about a particular theme? And then also how many, you can go back and actually look at the verbatim. So it traces all the way back.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's so interesting that you say the good feedback and the bad feedback. So we're listening to everything that customers are feeling and reacting to. It's both like, hey, wouldn't it be great if we had this, but also, hey, here's a thing that I have an idea for that I would love to improve on. So we're taking all of that information.
Absolutely. And I think it's based on that information that we actually build our roadmaps and decide what to build. It's so interesting because when you say this and you're talking about the dashboard, for me, this thinks of like a Xero user has their dashboard where it gives them everything that they need to know about. Let's say it's a business owner and everything that they need to know about their cash flow and how they can take that information to plan for the future and make the most confident decisions for their business. It sounds kind of like what you're saying is like this is a dashboard that allows us to plan Xero's future in order to make the product updates and the implementations that make the most sense for our customers. Is that fair to say? Yeah, it's our control center for trying to figure out what customers want and trying to understand their pain points and then how to innovate for those pain points. Wow. Absolutely. That's a great way of putting it. So with so many of those ideas coming through and already being categorized as they come through, how do we decide what of those to pick and to implement and to work with? That's a great question. So I think product development is part science and part art. One answer is, hey, things that get asked for the most, we work on that, right? So we do that. If something gets asked for the most, so we take the top 10 to 15 every quarter of feedback coming in each of the areas, so bank feeds versus invoicing versus payroll, etc., and then we just basically put teams against that to work on that. The other is then looking for broader general trends across the different teams. There are a lot of small things coming out. I want to see cash flow more easily. I want to be able to see how many outstanding invoices I have. I want to be able to see when my bank feed is down, if the bank is down. And so tying those themes together across different domains or even within a domain to go, oh, this is actually the pain the customer is feeling. That's where, and while it may not look like that this theme has the most feedback, when you aggregate it across, it's really the same pain point they're getting at, which is they want to be able to get a snapshot of their business, and here are the top things they want to be able to get a snapshot of. So that's the part where art comes in, a little bit of more art comes in. And then there's obviously, I would be remiss to say with technology changing as fast as it is, what can we bring to bear from the changes in technology to actually make customers' lives better? Wow. So it's combining like the technology and the AI component, but also the human component and how they work together. Absolutely. That's awesome. Do you have any examples of any suggestions that customers have submitted through this process that we have taken and implemented in real time to the software? Yeah, I mean, there are a bunch. We do, like I said, we do 10 to 15 across each of the different features and parts of our product every quarter. So an example would be history and notes and invoicing. In our invoices, our customers gave us a lot of feedback on what they wanted to see. And so we updated how we do history and notes and invoicing. Another example is deposits. Our customers wanted to be able to get deposits for services that they were providing. And deposits is rolling out soon. Another example is in payroll. Our customers wanted to be able to bulk download employee pay slips so that they could give them out physically. Oh, instead of having to do like one by one at a time. Exactly. Oh, wow, yeah. So that's another thing we did. So lots of different examples all over the place. Dang. You are smart people. So the moral of the story from what I'm hearing is you asked, we listened. Absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. And that's honestly, if you're building product for a set of customers, what's the point of building something that people don't want? So the way to build something people want is to actually listen to what they're saying and understand and empathize with that. I think that is a perfect place to close this. Diya Jolly, thank you again so much for your time. This was delightful. And I'm looking forward to the next time we get to chat. Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me.